Hello everybody, welcome back to Chuzgapa Engineering, and we're back with our first video in the 3D modeling series with Creo Parametric. This is the first in the series, as the previous series that we were doing on Creo 2D sketches. This is the first one in the 3D series. So yeah, in this video we're gonna be making a 3D model of a spanner, as you can see over here, and we're gonna be using this drawing to make the spanner. So before we move on with the video, I would highly appreciate if you could subscribe to this channel and like this video as well, which is gonna help me out greatly. And if you've got any feedback, any comments, you can drop them in the comment section as well, and because I read all the comments as well, so they're very helpful for me and for you as well. So yeah, without any further ado, we're gonna jump into the video. I'm gonna close this window and start a new session. It's the part we can make its name as spanner. I'm gonna turn the planes on. Yeah, so when you first start Creo Parametric, you're gonna see this screen. Over here you can see three planes, which are right, top and front, as they're highlighted. So to start the drawing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create our 2D sketch of the spanner on the top plane. So I'm gonna select that by clicking it over here or clicking it over here, and I'm gonna, once it's selected, I'm gonna click on the sketch command, and it's gonna enter the sketching mode. So now we're gonna see, what we'd like to have to view the plane in 90 degrees perpendicular to it. So I'm gonna select, click on this sketch view command, and it's gonna give us a normal view of the plane. So I'm gonna go over here and deselect the plane display, so that we cannot see it on the screen anymore, because we don't need to. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, sorry, it's a bit too big. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this point as the origin, and I'm gonna reference everything from there. So over here, what we can see is these two primary circles that this one has a diameter of 32 millimeters, and this one has a diameter of 29 millimeters. So we're gonna make these two circles with this one at the center of this circle at the origin, 32 millimeter diameter and 29. So I'm gonna go over here, select the circle command, come at the origin, and then make a circle, and then make another circle somewhere around here, like this. Perfect. So this diameter was 32 and this one was 29, and this the distance between the centers of these circles is 110, as you can see over here. Oops. So I'm gonna change that to 110. So the reason why I locked this, because you can see I've changed these dimensions, but they've grayed out. They're not red like this. The reason why it is that it's not completely constrained. It's not locked. The dimension is not locked properly. So if I try and click and drag the circle, it's going to change its diameter. So we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this back to 32, and then left click it once, and then toggle this lock on. So once this lock is on, this diameter, the dimension turns into pink color, and then I cannot change it by physically, manipulating it. Same thing I'm going to do with over here as well. Click the lock button, so this is completely, constrained. So now you can see over here, both of these circles are being shaded with purplish color. It's to show any closed loops closed geometries basically. So we don't want to see this right now, so I'm going to go over here, inspect, and then unselect this highlight open ends. Oh, sorry, highlight this shade closed loops. So we're going to get rid of that. And over here you can see the constraint icons as well. We don't really need to see them right now, so I'm going to go over here and uncheck this box. Yep. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this arc. I'm going to use a 3-point arc command, which has a radius of 13 millimeters and has a center which is offset in vertical by 2 millimeters and in the horizontal by 6 millimeters. So I'm going to go over here, select this 3-point arc, and then I'm going to zoom in a bit, and then I'm going to make 2 points over here, and then create a random arc like this. We're going to constrain it in a bit. So this distance is 2 millimeters, as we saw from the drawing. I'm going to lock it as always, and this horizontal distance is 6 millimeters. I don't know why I could not change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the constraints on to see if any constraints are having an issue, but it's not, so I'm going to change it back to 6. And yep, this is 2 and this is going to be changed to 6.0. I'm going to lock this as well so it cannot be changed. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this construction mode on and select this line command. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join these 2 points, which is going to be useful, as you will see in the future. I mean, like right now in a few moments. So I've made this line. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this radius of the circle, which is 13 millimeters. Sorry, my mouse is acting up today. So 13, oops, sorry. Oh crap, sorry about that. Okay, let's keep the radius away for a while. I'm gonna do the next best thing, which is make these lines, these 2 parallel lines. So I'm gonna turn the construction mode off, select the line command, and join this line to the outer circle. Press escape and then make another line at a random point on this circle. So now what I'm going to do is, the reason why I created this line is to constrain this line to this line by selecting both of them by holding control, and then I'm going to make them perpendicular to each other. I think I'm going to turn this on as well so that you can see my mouse. Oops. Okay, sorry, oh yeah, there it is. So apply changes. Perfect. Now you can see my mouse. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna select these 2 lines. I'm gonna make them parallel to each other. Perfect. And at this distance, which so in the drawing you can see this distance is 17 millimeters. So I'm gonna change it to 17.0. I'm gonna lock this dimension as well, and this radius will be 13 millimeters, and I'm gonna log that as well. Now you can see there's one more dimension that is unconstrained. So to constrain that fully, I'm gonna make a center line from this point, and I have to make sure that this is perpendicular. Okay, so I'm gonna make a random center line over here like this, and I'm gonna make it perpendicular to this this line that we do earlier. So we're perpendicular, and the final thing I'm gonna do to constrain this fully is make these 2 lines symmetric about this axis, the center line. So I'm going to select this symmetric command, and I'm going to select the axis, and I'm going to select these endpoints or vertices to make them symmetric about this line. Perfect. So now it's fully constrained. I'm going to press escape to exit the symmetric command, and you can see it cannot be moved. So I'm going to turn this constraint display off so we can get a better picture. And yeah, so I'm going to delete the bits that I don't need right now. So by holding selecting the delete segment, I can delete that off. Perfect. So similar thing is going to be done over here as well. So yeah, so this arc is 9 millimeters, and in vertical it's offset by 2 millimeters from the center, and in the horizontal is 6, similar to over here as well. So it's a 3-point arc as I drew earlier as well. So I'm gonna make these 2 points, make a random arc over here like this. So one more thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a center line, like a vertical center line from here as well, so that I can reference it properly. So again, this dimension is 2.0 and this is 6. Yep, so and this dimension is 6.0. Now again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log these. First thing, 2.0. I'm going to log these 2 commands, dimensions, so that they cannot be changed. Yeah, and the next thing I'm gonna do is make these lines that we drew earlier as well. So this line and this line, at the moment it can be it can join at any point as well, but we can change it obviously later on. Sorry, my mouse and keyboard is acting up right now. So yeah, I forgot to make this construction line over here, which is very important, as you saw earlier. So yeah, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these 2 lines tangent perpendicular to each other, and these 2 lines parallel, so they can give it a shape. I can give this so this distance is actually 13 millimeters. So I'm going to change that to 13.0. Yeah, you can see that it's still not properly aligned. The next thing I'm going to do is change this radius to 9. So come over here, make it 9.0 and lock it. We don't really need this dimension, so I'm gonna delete that. So again, I'm gonna make a center line over here like this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this line parallel to this as well. I think I think it's gonna mean the same thing. If yeah, no, we need to make it what do you call it? We need to make it perpendicular to this line first. So select this and select this by holding control, and then make these 2 perpendicular. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make these lines symmetrical about these 2 lines symmetrical about this axis. So select the symmetric command, select the axis, hold this vertex and this, and then voila, like that. I'm gonna lock this dimension as well, and then delete all the stuff that we don't need, like that. Perfect. So, and sorry, and this as well, delete segment and this. So in order to see if it's a fully closed loop, so I can turn this on, and you can see that it's filled in, so which means that there are no empty gaps in the geometry. I will turn that back off again for a while, and then what I'm gonna draw is this entities. So yeah, the first thing I'm gonna make is a horizontal line like this over here, which is going to be joining at this point, like a random point over here on this circle, on this circle, and you have to make sure that this is horizontal. Oops, sorry, I don't know why my mouse keeps doing that. I'm going to delete that bit. Yeah, so perfect. So you can see over here that it is 11 millimeters in thickness, but if I reference it from the center line, it will be 5.5 millimeters. So I'm gonna select this point and give it a vertical dimension, which is going to be 5.5, like that, and I will lock this dimension. Now what you see over here is a fillet of sorts of a radius of 47 millimeters. So I'm gonna go over here, select the fillet command, and then select this line, if I can select it, and this circle as well. Press escape and make this as 47.0 and lock this dimension. Same thing is gonna go over here as well, a fillet of radius 23, I think, yes, 23, and select the fillet command again, select this line and this circular arc, and change this radius to 23.0, like that, and then lock this as well. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of this whole upper geometry, and then I'm going to mirror it across this bit. So you can see we've got a bit of missing geometry in one place and additional geometry in the other. So in case over here, we're going to delete the excess geometry that was mirrored over. In this case, we're gonna make I'm gonna make an arc like that. So I'm gonna select the 3-point arc. I'm gonna go over here and like that. So you can say it's created a bigger arc that I don't need. So I'm gonna select delete segment, and I will chop off any excess arc geometry that was created in the process. Perfect. So coming back to the inspect option over here, seeing that we can see that we've got a closed loop, which is good. So which means that now we can extrude this geometry. Extrude means we're gonna give it a thickness, and it's gonna have a thickness. So once it's selected, we're gonna go over here and select this extrude command, click it, and yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it symmetrical, this extrusion. So at the moment it's only extruding in one direction. What I need is I'm gonna have a symmetric extrude in the both directions. So coming back to the drawing, you can see that the thickness of this extrude is 5 millimeters. So since it's symmetrical, and I can give it a thickness which is 5.0, and I can select OK. Perfect. So now we've got an extruded like a 3D structure. I'm going to turn the plane display off. Yeah, so now what you can see from this drawing is that this feature has actually is a recessed surface compared to this one. So the thickness of this bit is 3 millimeters across the center line. So we're gonna reduce that thickness by 1 millimeters compared to this surface. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to reverse extrude. We're going to take out the material, and the 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 depth that we're gonna extrude it in, the depth of the removal of the material will be 1 millimeters. So I'm gonna select this surface and go over here to sketch, which gonna enter a sketching window with the sketching surface as the surface of the spanner. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a like a shape over here using the 3-point arc like that. So, and oh sorry, like that. And oops, sorry, I'm gonna select this to give it a normal view, and same thing's gonna happen over here as well. I'm gonna make these two circles. Now I'm gonna select this project command, which is gonna project all these edges so that I can make use of them in this sketching. So I'm gonna hold Control and select all these edges that I need. Sorry, come on, select. So I'm holding Control while doing this. So once all the edges are selected, I'm gonna click this green tick button and press escape, and I will delete all these sections that I don't need so that it's a closed loop. So I'm gonna delete this bit and this bit as well. So if I press escape, you can see it's shaded now, which means it's a closed loop. So I'll press OK. Now it's this sketch is selected. I'm gonna press extrude. So now you can see it's being extruded in this direction, but we need to remove the material in this direction. So I'm going to change the direction of the extrude by clicking this arrow, which changes the direction. Or what you can also do is click over here as well, which also changes the direction. So we're going to have an extrude in this direction as shown, and we need a depth of 1.0 millimeters like that. Once everything's fine, I can have a visual look and everything's fine. So I'm gonna press enter to accept the extrude. So same thing is gonna happen on this surface as well. So I will select it and press the sketch button to enter the sketching window, get a normal view of the sketching window. Now what I'm gonna do is, instead of projecting all the surfaces manually like I did earlier, I'm gonna change the view to a hidden line, which is gonna expose the line, the edges on the other side as well. So I'm only gonna have a project command, and I will select all these edges that I need to be projected by holding Control. So it's simpler now. Once all the edges are selected, I'm going to select this green button, and I will go back over here and change it back, the view back to change shades with edges. So once it's selected, I'm going to press OK, go back to extrude, change the direction again, make it 1 millimeter. No. Sorry, what's happening? So change it to 1.0 millimeter and press OK. Perfect. So now you can see the spanner is about starting to take some shape. The next thing we notice over here is this the numbers as well, and this recessed surface, which is 1.6 millimeter across, which means that from this surface it is 0.9 under the removal of material is at a depth of 0.9. So I'm gonna again select this surface, enter the sketching mode, and then give it a normal view, and I will again make this geometry. So zooming in on it, we can see that it's got two arcs which has a radius of 3.25 and a thickness of 6.5 millimeters. And then obviously it's the center of this arc is reference to the origin, which is 28.25 in horizontal, and then the distance between these two arcs is, the center of these two arcs is 55 millimeters. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make two circles over here like this and like this. So I'm going to make sure to give it an equality constraint, as you can see over here, because these two arcs are equal in radius. I'm going to convert that to radial command, radial dimension, and change it to 3.25. So select that 3.25 and then lock it so that it cannot be changed. Move these dimensions a bit. So the center of this arc from the origin was, the distance was 28.25. So I'm gonna double click it and make it 28.25. Lock this command, and the distance between these two was 55. 55.0, and then log this as well. Now I'm gonna make a line between these two circles like this, and I can select this and mirror it across as well like that, and I will delete these sections that I don't need. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a, so now you can see it's a closed loop without any break in geometry. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the construction mode on, select the line command, and then make a line, a construction line over here like this. Change it to a random number like, no. So we're going to reference this to, from this point, give it a horizontal dimension, make it 2. I'll show you why I'm doing this. So now what we're trying to do is, I'll create the same line over here as well. So line, and I will reference it from this center point, make it 2.0, and then lock it. Perfect. So the reason why I'm doing this is because over here you can see you've got numbers 17 and 13 and it will be engraved in this surface as well. So I'm gonna go over here, turn this construction mode off, because with this on you cannot access the text command. I'm gonna select text, and then I will make a line over here, and then it's gonna give me a dialog box where I'm gonna put the text in. So you can see at the moment it's hovering in the air, but if you select this option, place along curve, and it's gonna allow me to select this line so that it can be placed on it. And I'm gonna press OK, and then I'm gonna manually, because it's not defined completely like how it's constrained, so I'm gonna manually change this its dimensions. So I'll make that 3.0 to make it smaller, and I'm going to turn some constraints on to see why I can move this, whether any constraints have been turned on. So this, sorry, are there any constraints that are not letting me move? Yep, I'll turn this off. Yeah, so I'm going to manually put it in place, because yeah, so 17's in place. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another text like this, make it 13, and I'm going to place it along curve, yes please, over here, change the direction to this side, and then press OK. Press escape, delete this constraint, and then manually place it somewhere around here like that. Like that. Perfect. So oops, sorry, there's something really wrong with my mouse. keeps doing something like that. So perfect. I'm gonna press OK, and now we've got our sketch ready. We're gonna go over here, press the extrude, and if you remember, it was we're gonna remove some material from there, and the depth was 0.9, and we've made this surface similar to the other one. So we're gonna show it on the other side as well. On the other side as well, as you can see in the drawing. On the other side, it doesn't show me any engraves, so it's just a receded surface. So I'm gonna select the surface, go over here and click sketch, give it a normal view like this, and then again I'm gonna use the same trick I did earlier. I'm gonna go over here and change the view to hidden line, and I will project this geometry so that I can use it in my sketch. Click this tick box, and then turn it back to shading with edges. Press OK, and then another give it an extrude command, change the direction, and then make it 0.9 as well, and then press OK. Perfect. So now you've got a spanner pretty much ready, but one thing you should know that this spanner needs to have fillets, like it needs to have smooth edges. So to do that, what we're going to do is I'm going to select the round command like this, and I will change the radius to 1.0, and I will select all the edges by holding Control, so that all the edges can have a filleting of 1 millimeters like this. Sorry. So the upper edges have been selected. I'm going to select the lower edges now. Over here as well. And this here as well. And these ones. Perfect. So all the edges have been rounded off. Sorry, I forgot these ones. So I'm gonna go over here, select this, and then change them, and I'm gonna add these edges as well. Zoom in a bit, select this by holding Control, select this as well, zoom in a bit, oops, select these two as well. Perfect. Click OK. Sorry, my computer's getting a bit slow right now. So yeah, so most of the edges are been rounded. We only got this left, so I'm gonna click the round button again, change the radius to 0.25 because this is a really small space here. So I'm gonna select the upper edges first and then the lower ones, and then go on this side, select both of the edges again like this, and press sorry, I'm so sorry. There's something wrong with my mouse, keeps doing weird stuff like that. Okay, and press OK. Perfect. So yep, this is our spanner ready, and yeah, this is how you make a basic spanner like this. So yeah, if you like this video, I hope you learned a lot from here. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well and drop a like, and give me any feedback or any comment if you like, any suggestion in the comment section below. And yeah, support this channel, and I'm trying to put out a video pretty much every other day. So yeah, any of your support would be highly appreciated. So this is the spanner for this episode, and we're gonna be coming back with Creo 3D modeling in the next video as well. So thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.